And now, Internet Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 4 ugly, mean stepsisters named Cinderella, Ramona, and Ophelia. Zaria, Ella, Ramona, and Ophelia made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors! Wash the dishes! Said Zaria, Ella, Ramona, and Ophelia. One day, the king of Nunville's messenger said, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Nunville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Nothing. Zero is not welcome, though. Her 4 mean stepsisters are." Zaria said, "Prince Nothing is going to marry me." Ella said, "No way, Zaria. He's going to marry me." Ramona said, "Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Ophelia said, "All 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me." Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and Prince Nothing. Her fairy godmother asks what's wrong. "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella answers, "I want to go to the ball and marry Prince Nothing, but I'm not welcome." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "I can help out with a bit of magic." She waved her magic wand and said to do all the chores, "Knittity, knottity, noo!" But she's not done yet. She also turned Cinderella's do-rag and wrapped dress into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a wonderful gown. And get a load of my glass slippers." And the fairy godmother said, "I'm not done yet. To get to the ball, you're going to need a vehicle. Go find a watermelon." Cinderella picked a nice round watermelon. Knittity, knottity, noo! Her fairy godmother chanted the magic word, waved her magic wand, and turned the watermelon into a coach drawn by 4 horses. Cinderella said, "Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you?" The fairy godmother said, "Have fun, my sweets, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken." Cinderella accepted the warning. Later, at the ball, Prince Nothing is wondering who he should marry. Zaria, Ella, Ramona, and Ophelia said all together, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Nothing dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized this all was nice, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Nothing is worried that she might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around the neighborhood to find her, bringing the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door where Zira and her 4 mean stepsisters lived. Prince Nothing said, "Hello, ladies. I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper?" Zaria is first, but her foot is too big. Ella is next, but her foot is too small. Ramona and Ophelia did the same thing, but none of their feet fit. Suddenly, Prince Nothing noticed this Cinderella sweet singing. Zerorella said, Prince Nothing, is that you? Prince Nothing said, of course it's me. And the glass slipper fits her. Zerorella gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Nothing back. And Prince Nothing and Zerorella lived happily ever after. The end. And I hope you enjoyed this story, Underdoers. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella, based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Olive, Nina, and Esme. Olive, Nina, and Esme made Cinderella do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, said Olive, Nina, and Esme. One day, the king of Onlyville's messenger said, hear ye, the king of Onlyville is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Singling. But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Olive said, he's going to marry me. Nina said, no way, Olive. He's going to marry me. Esme said, both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, Cinderella is so sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Singling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks Cinderella what is wrong. Why are you crying, Cinderella? She asks. Cinderella responds, I wanted her to go to the ball and marry Prince Singling, but I'm not welcome. The fairy godmother waved her wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! And then, Cinderella's chores are all done. But the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Cinderella, go fetch me a good old pumpkin. Luckily, Cinderella has one pumpkin. The fairy godmother waved her magic wand and chanted the magic word, Winnity, Waterity, one! Again, to turn Cinderella's do-rag and clothes into a gown and crown. I've never seen such a wonderful gown. I get a load of my glass slippers, and then the pumpkin into a carriage drawn by 2 strong horses. The fairy godmother said, have fun, Cinderella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken. Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Singling was wondering who he should marry. Olive, Nina, and Esme said all together, he's walking towards me. But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Singling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Singling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled around Onlyville to find her and brought the glass slipper with him. He knocked on the door of the house where her Wanderella and her stepsisters lived. He said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper? Olive is first, but her foot is too big. Nina is next, but her foot is too small. Nina is last. Esme is last, but her foot didn't fit either." Suddenly, Prince Singling noticed Wanderella singing. Wanderella said, "Prince Singling, is that you?" Prince Singling said, "Of course it's me." Wanderella gets so excited because she's having to have her Prince Singling back. And they lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story before bed enters doors. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share to my video. Take care. Bye and good night, everybody. Andrew's Doers. Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Cinderella. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Winona, and Una. Tina, Winona, and Una made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all," said Tina, Winona, and Una all together. One day, the king of Doubleburg's messenger said, "Hear ye, the king of Doubleburg, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and cross shall marry his son, Prince Twinning." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsister, Tina said, "He's going to marry me." Winona said, "No way, Tina, he's going to marry me." Una said, "Both of you are wrong, he's going to marry me." Later, Cinderella is very sad that she cannot go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning. And her fairy godmother asks Cinderella what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella responds, and sadly, "I wanted to go to the ball and marry Prince Twinning." Her fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of double magic." She waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, "Dibbly dabbly dobbly doo." And all of Cinderella's chores are done, but the fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has 2 pumpkins. The fairy godmother waves her magic wand and chants the magic words, "Dibbly dabbly dobbly doo." Again, turning the 2 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 2 strong horses, and then Cinderella's clothes into a gown and crown. I've never seen such a double-tastic gown. And get a lot of my glass slippers. Cinderella is now ready for the ball. Her fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Twinning was wondering who he should marry. Cinderella, of course. Tina, Winona, and Una shout out together, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not. But he is walking towards Cinderella. Cinderella and Prince Twinning danced happily together. But later, Cinderella realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Twinning was so worried, afraid that she might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Doubleburg to find her, and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. he knocked on the door where Cinderella, Tina, Winona, and Una lived. But instead of Cinderella, he found Tina, Winona, and Una. Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on these 2 glass slippers? Prince Twinning asks. Tina is first, but her feet are too big. Winona is next, but her feet are too small. Una is last, but her feet aren't the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Twinning noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella shouts excited, "Prince Twinning, is that you?" Prince Twinning responded, "Of course it's me. You are from my father's ball. I love you. Will you marry me?" Cinderella gets so excited because he's happy to have Prince Twinning back. And they both lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and buy our merchandise. Take care. Bye. Oh, yeah. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents Cinderella. It is based on the story of Cinderella. Once upon a time, there lived a young girl named Ternary. Cinderella had 3 ugly, mean stepsisters named Tina, Alina, and Nina. Tina, Alina, and Nina made Cinderella do all the chores. "Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all," said Tina, Alina, and Nina all together. One day, the king of the Cobbleburg's messengers said, Hear ye! The king of the Cobbleburg is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Cobbling." But Cinderella is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. Tina said, "He's going to marry me." Alina said, "No way, Tina! He's going to marry me!" Nina said, "Both of you are wrong! He's going to marry me!" Later, Cinderella is so sad doing her chores that she can't go to the ball and marry Prince Cobbling, while her fairy godmother asks her what's wrong by saying, "Why are you crying, Cinderella?" Cinderella responds, "I have lots of chores to be done, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Cobbling." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "I can help with a bit of magic." So she chants the magic words, "Tintity tantity tantity too," and waves her magic wand. Because of that, Cinderella's chores are all done, but her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "Cinderella, go fetch me a pumpkin." Luckily, Cinderella has 10 pumpkins. Cinderella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, "Tintity tantity tantity too," and waves her magic wand again to turn the 10 pumpkins into a handsome coach by 20 strong horses, and then Cinderella's were closed into a gown and crown. Cinderella said, "I've never seen such a sensational gown. And get a load of my glass slippers." Cinderella's fairy godmother said, "Have fun, Cinderella, but I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to the way it was before." Cinderella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Cobbling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Alina, and Nina said all together, "He's walking towards me." but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards Ternary. Ternary and Prince Coupling dance happily together. But later, Cinderella is almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Decoupling was so worried that he might never see Cinderella again. So he traveled all around Decoupleberg to find her, and brought the 2 tiny glass slippers with him. He knocked on the door of the home of where Ternary, Tina, Alina, and Nina lived. But instead of Ternary, he finds Tina, Alina, and Nina. Prince Decoupling then said, "Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can you not bring me these 2 glass slippers?" Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Alina is next, but her foot is too small. Nina is last, but her foot isn't the right size either. Suddenly, Prince Decoupling noticed Cinderella's sweet singing. Cinderella then gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Decoupling back, and Prince Decoupling doesn't have to put the 2 glass slippers back on her feet because they're so uncomfortable. And now they've both lived happily ever after. The end. Andrew's Doers. If you want to see some sequels, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share. Andrew does everything, and buy our merchandise, etc. And take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 11erella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 11erella. 11erella had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. All 6 of them made fun of 11erella and made her do all the chores. 11er wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, clean out the pantry, do it all, said Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina, all together. One day, the king of 11ville's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of 11ville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Coupling. But 11erella is not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. He's going to marry me, said Ella. No way, Ella, you're wrong. He's going to marry me, said Lola. Both of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, said Asha. Vada said, all 3 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, said Elsa. All 4 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me, Nina, the youngest stepsister, said. All 5 of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Later, 11erella is so sad about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Coupling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and asks her 11erella what's wrong by saying, There, 11erella. Why are you crying, my dear? In which 11erella responds, I have lots of chores to do, but I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Coupling. 11erella's fairy godmother can make her wish come true by saying, I can help with a bit of magic. Nobody will know it's you. And so she waves her magic wand to clean up all the chores for 11erella. But she's not done yet, she said. 11erella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice. Luckily, 11erella has 11 pumpkins and 22 mice. 11erella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 11 pumpkins into a handsome coach. 22 mice into horses, and then 11 was ripped clothes into a gown and crown. 11 said, I've never seen such a double wonderful gown. You get a load of my glass slippers, and climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, have fun, 11, my dear, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. It gives her a clock to tell her what time it is, and so 11 accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, the king of 11ville says, good evening, all. My son, Prince Unkopling, was wondering who he should marry. Isn't that right, son? In which Prince Unkopling responds, yes, father. Suddenly, 11 arrives at the ball just in time. Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina say, he's walking towards me altogether, but he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 11 May I have this dance? Prince Unkopling then asks, to which 11 responds, I would be delighted. Prince Unkopling and 11 dance happily together. But later, as 11 checks her clock, and it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Unkopling was so worried and sad that he might never see 11 again. The king of 11ville comforts him by saying, there now, son. I think we'll be able to find 11 my dear daughter-in-law. And so, the king of 11ville and Prince Unkopling began their journey all around the neighborhood to try to find 11 and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where 11 Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, and Elsa and Nina all together live. But instead of 11 they find Ella, Lola, Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina. Prince Unkopling then says, ladies, my father, the king of 11ville, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Ella is first, but her foot is too big. Lola is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits, she said. Asha, Vada, Elsa, and Nina did the same thing, but none of their feet are the right size either. Suddenly, the king of 11ville and Prince Unkopling and noticed 11 sweet singing. She hollered excitedly, overjoyed. Prince Unkopling and your majesty, is that you guys? The king of Unkopling says, my dear daughter-in-law, we found you. Will you marry Prince Unkopling? To which 11 hollered more overjoyed, yes! And so, 11 the king of Unkopling and Prince Unkopling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, interest doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and introduce everything. And I've been debating on making the sequels a bit of tradition. So if you want to see maybe someday, or 11 11 wishes come true, something like that. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and introduce everything, and buy our merchandise at introduceeverything.com. Take care. Bye. And now, Introduce Everything proudly presents 12 It is based on the story of Cinderella. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young girl named 12 12 had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella. Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella made 12 do all the chores. Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all, said Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Anna all together. One day, the king of 12ville's messengers arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of 12ville is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Stuart Coupling. But 12 is not welcome. Her stepsisters are. They then argue over who will Prince Stuart Coupling marry. Later, 12 is so sad about not going to the ball and marry Prince Stuart Coupling while doing chores. Suddenly, her fairy godmother asks 12 what's wrong by saying, Why are you crying, 12? So, in which 12 responds, I can't go to the ball and marry Prince Stuart Coupling. 12's fairy godmother says, I can help with a bit of magic. And waves her magic wand. And because of that, 12 chores are all done. But her fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, 12 go fetch me a pumpkin. Luckily, 12 has 12 pumpkins. 12's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 12 pumpkins into a handsome coach drawn by 24 strong horses, and then 12 rip clothes and do-rag into a gown and crown. 12 said, I've never seen such a cobble-tastic gown. Get a load of my glass slippers. How can I ever thank you enough? 12's fairy godmother said, Well, you can't. But have fun, 12 but I would warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to the way it was before. 12 accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Stuart Coupling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. He's walking towards 12. May I have this dance? Asks Prince Stuart Coupling. 12 responds, I would be delighted. Prince Stuart Coupling and 12 dance happily together. But later, 12 realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Stuart Coupling was so worried that he might never see 12 again. So he traveled all around 12ville to find her and brought the 2 glass slippers with him. By the time he arrives, he knocks on the door of the home where 12 and her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 12 he finds Tina, Winona, Elena, Lana, Verona, and Ella. Prince Stuart Coupling then said, Ladies, I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slipper? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Stuart Coupling notices 12 singing. The glass slippers fit! 12 gets so excited because she's happy to have Prince Stuart Coupling back. And then 12 and Prince Stuart Coupling lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you're enjoying this story, Andrew Doers. And if you want to see some more sequels or Cinderella parodies, tell your friends about it. And I bet you're not gonna I don't know. I bet you're gonna have a ball. And I must say, don't lose a shoe. Take care. Bye. And now, Introduce Everything proudly presents Ternary. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named Ternary. Ternary had 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, and Yadina. All 6 of them constantly made fun of Ternary and made her do all the chores. 20 wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, and Yadina all together. And then, one day, the king of Tumblinham's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Tumblingham, his majesty is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Tumbling. But Ternary is not welcome. Her 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. They ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball, but argue over who will Prince Tumbling marry. Later, Ternary is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Tumbling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There now, Ternary. I can help with a bit of magic. No one will know it's you. And so, she chants the magic words, Vigitity, Vigitati, Voo! And waves her magic wand. Because of that, Ternary's chores are all done. And her best party dress is fixed and grown bigger and better. Ternary says, I've never seen such a vegetable-tastic gown! And get it out of my glass slippers. But Ternary's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, Ternary, go fetch me a pumpkin. Later, luckily, Ternary has 20 pumpkins and 40 mice. Ternary's fairy godmother chants the magic words, Vigitity, Vigitantity, Voo! And waves her magic wand again to turn the 20 pumpkins into a handsome coach and the 40 mice into horses. Ternary climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, Have fun, Ternary, but I will warn you. Return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken, and everything will change back to normal. And so, Ternary accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Tumbling was wondering who he should marry. Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, and Nina say all together, He's walking towards me! But he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Tumbling is walking towards any of Ternary. May I have this dance? Asked Prince Tumbling. To which Ternary replied, I would be delighted. Prince Tumbling and Ternary dance happily together. But later, Ternary realized it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. Prince Tumbling was so worried that he might never see Ternary again. The king of Tumblingham comforted him by saying, There, no, son. I think we'll be able to find Ternary, he said. And so, they began their journey all around the neighborhood to find Ternary. And brought the 2 glass slippers she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked on the door of the house where Twenty-Rella and her 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of Twenty-Rella, they find her 6 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tina and Irina. Prince Vigitelling then says, "Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can Annie try on these glass slippers?" Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. "Nonsense! It fits!" she said. The rest did the same, but none of them figured out the right size. Suddenly, Prince Vigitelling, the king of Vigitelling, noticed Twenty-Rella singing. "Prince Vigitelling, is that you?" Twenty-Rella hollered excitedly, and the glass slippers fit! And Twenty-Rella, the Prince Vigitelling, the king of Vigitellingham, lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew's Doers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and Andrew Does Everything, and buy our merchandise at AndrewDoesEverything.com. And if you want to see some sequels to Twenty-Rella, tell your friends about it. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 21rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella, with a bit of a twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, there was a young adult girl named 21rella. 21rella had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Irina, Olivia, Nadia, and Erica. 9 of them made fun of 21rella and made her do all the chores. 20, what a wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said the stepsisters all together. One day, the king of Vigitellingham's messenger arrives and says, "Hear ye, hear ye! The king of Vigitellingham, his majesty, is going to throw a ball, and whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Vigitelling." But 21rella is not welcome. Her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are. They then argue over who will marry Prince Vigitelling. Later, 21rella is so sad, upset, and distraught about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Vigitelling. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arises and comforts her. There now, 21rella. I can help with a bit of magic. No one will know it's you. And so she chants the magic words, "Vigitity, Vigitantity, Vigitantity on Voo," and waves her magic wand. Because of that, 20rella's chores are all done, and she now has a dress grown bigger and better. 21rella says, "I've never seen such an vegetable-tastic gown! And get a load of my glass slippers!" But 21rella's fairy godmother is not done yet. She said, "21rella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some mice." And then, luckily, 21rella has 21 pumpkins and 42 mice. 21rella's fairy godmother chants the magic words, "Vigitity, Vigitantity, on Voo," and waves her magic wand to turn the 21 pumpkins into a handsome coach and 42 smiles into horses. Cinderella climbs into the coach. Her fairy godmother says, "Have fun, 21-Rella, but I will warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will change back to normal." And so, 21-Rella accepts the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Tumbling was wondering who he should marry. 21-Rella arrives at the ball just in time. Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Dina, Olive, Nadia, and Erica say all together. Olivia, "He's walking towards me!" But he's not walking towards any of them. Prince Tumbling is walking towards 21-Rella. "May I have this dance?" as Prince Tumbling, to which 21 says, "I would be delighted." Prince Tumbling and 21-Rella dance happily together. But later, 21-Rella realizes it's almost midnight, so she scurried out of the ball. And she was running so fast that she lost one of her glass slippers. Prince Tumbling was so worried that he might never see 21-Rella again. The king of Tumbling had comforted by saying, There now, son. I think we'll be able to find 21-Rella," he said. And so, they began their journey all around the neighborhood to find 21-Rella and brought the glass slipper she lost with them. By the time they arrived, they knocked at the door at the house where 21-Rella and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 21-Rella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tina and Erica. Prince Tumbling then says, "Ladies, my father and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try this glass slipper?" Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. "Nonsense! It fits!" The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, Prince Tumbling, and thinking of Tumblingham, known as 21-Rella's sweet singing, she hollered excitedly, "Prince Tumbling, is that you?" She hollered excitedly, "My dear daughter-in-law, 21-Rella, we found you!" exclaims the king of Tumblingham, "and the glass slipper fits!" 21-Rella, Prince Tumbling, and the king of Tumblingham then lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrews Doers. And don't forget to subscribe, like, and share on the internet, everything, etc. Take care. Bye. And now, Andrew Does Everything proudly presents 22-Rella. It is based on the story of Cinderella with a bit of a plot twist. Let's tell you the story, shall we? Once upon a time, in a faraway land in Dual Vegetableberg, there was a young adult girl named 22-Rella. 22-Rella had 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters named Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, Irina, Tasha, Wilma, and Olivia. Oh, 9 of them constantly made fun of 22-Rella and made her do all the chores. 22, wench! Sweep the floors, wash the dishes, do it all! Said Tina, Winona, Elena, Tanya, Irina, Tasha, Winona, and Olivia all together. And then one day, the king of Duo Vegetableberg's messenger arrives and says, Hear ye, the king of Dual Vegetableberg, his royal majesty is going to throw a ball. And whoever has the most beautiful gown and crown shall marry his son, Prince Dual-Vegetubling. Can I come? Asks 22rella, but she's not welcome. Her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters are Tina, Winona, Elena, Nina, Tanya, and Yadina. Tasha, Winona, and Olivia are overjoyed. They ran with huge excitement and picked out dresses to wear to the ball. Later, 22rella is so sad, distraught, and upset about not going to the ball and marrying Prince Dual-Vegetubling. Whatever will I do? She whimpers. Suddenly, her fairy godmother arrives and comforts her. There now, my dear 22rella. I can help with a bit of magic. No one will know it's you. And so, she chants the magic words. Surprise, surprise, among the shores. Magic wand, do all the chores. And waves her magic wand. And not a minute too soon, 22rella's chores are all done. But her fairy godmother says she's not done yet. She says, 22rella, go fetch me a pumpkin and some ice. And your tiny little friends. Luckily, 22rella has 22 pumpkins and 44 mice. 22rella's fairy godmother waves her magic wand again to turn the 22 pumpkins into a handsome coach, the 44 mice into horses, and then 22rella's weird clothes into a gown and crown. 22rella says, I've never seen such a dual-vegetable-tastic gown. And get it out of my glass slippers. Fairy godmother, how can I ever thank you enough? And climbs into the coach. 22rella's fairy godmother said, well, 22rella, you can't, but have fun, and I would warn you, return home before midnight, or the spell will be broken and everything will turn back to normal. And so, 22rella accepted the warning. Meanwhile, at the ball, Prince Dual-Vegetubling was wondering who he should marry. Wondering who to marry? Prince Dual-Vegetubling, my son? Asks the king of Dual-Vegetubleburg. To which 22-Vegetubling, he says, yes, father. Prince Dual-Vegetubling, you're going to marry me, said Tina, the oldest stepsister. No way, Tina, wrong. Prince Dual-Vegetubling, you're going to marry me, said Winona. Both of you are wrong. Prince Dual-Vegetubling, you're going to marry me, said Elena. The rest say, all three of you are wrong. He's going to marry me. Prince Dual-Vegetubling, you're going to marry me. But Prince Dual-Vegetubling angrily denies the request. 22rella will rise at the ball just in time. Prince Dual-Vegetubling sees her, walks up to her and says, you must be 22rella. May I please have this dance? 22rella responds, yes! 22rella and Prince Dual-Vegetubling dance happily together. But later, 22rella realized it's almost midnight. So she scurried out of the ball, and she was running so fast that she lost both her glass slippers. The next day, the king of Dual-Vegetubleburg and Prince Dual-Vegetubling tried to find 22rella, who captured Prince Dual-Vegetubling's heart and brought the 2 glass slippers she lost with them. By the time they arrive, Prince Dual-Vegetubling knocks on the door of the house where 22rella and her 9 ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters lived. But instead of 22rella, they find her ugly, mean, wicked stepsisters, Tina and Olivia. Prince Dual-Vegetubling then says, Ladies, my father, the king of dual vegetableburg, and I have a favor to ask. Can any of you try on this glass slippers? Tina is first, but her foot is too big. Winona is next, but her foot is too small. Nonsense! It fits! She said. The rest did the same, but none of their feet are the right size. Suddenly, the king of dual vegetableburg and Prince dual vegetali known as 22rella is sweet singing. Prince dual vegetabling, is that you? She hollered excitedly. Prince dual vegetali says, of course it's me. I love you. Will you marry me? And the glass slipper fits. And so, Prince dual vegetabling and the king of dual vegetableburg, 22rella, lived happily ever after. The end. I hope you enjoyed this story, Andrew Stewards. Don't forget to subscribe, like it, share, and buy our merchandise at editorsofthething.com. Take care. Bye.